My name is Cindy Beavers, and I'm with Henry Estate Winery, and I'm the general manager. We're located in Umpqua, Oregon, which is in the Umpqua Valley, beautiful valley here, in what is considered the southern part of the state of Oregon. We are a winery and vineyard, so we do literally from the very beginning to the end. So we grow the grapes, we produce the grapes, we bottle, label. My dad went ahead after he graduated from high school. He went to Oregon State, and he actually ended up in engineering, and he loved it. He graduated with a mechanical engineering degree, and at that time we were trying to get to the moon. So it was that big, run to the moon, money is no object, and he got hired at a aerospace firm in Sacramento. And so he worked down there for 12 years. We got to the moon, and exciting time. But then after that, it was we got to the moon, kind of we're done. My grandpa had fallen ill, and so he really needed Dad to come back up here. And one of Dad's requests upon coming back was he'd like to plant a vineyard. The challenge he had was the vines were really vigorous, and so he would get a lot of foliage growth, kind of unruly vines. And so being an engineer and a thinker, he was trying to, what could I do? What do I need to do, to balance that out? And so what he thought of was making a double tier. So instead of one tier of fruit that the grape plant has to ripen, he made two. So it doubled the load on the plant to ripen that fruit. And so the plant doesn't grow as much because it's focusing on ripening the fruit. And so they named it after him, and it's used worldwide. New Zealand and Australia are huge. They use hundreds of thousands of acres to the Scott Henry trellis. So I first heard about the grant, I want to say back in 2012. I had a guy that worked for us for a number of years marketing, and he did events. Doyle always had his fingers in a lot of pots, and he had met a grant writer, a really nice guy, and he had talked about this grant. And out here, it's just, we're not exposed to a lot of things like that. And he said, well, what do you think about submitting a grant for the direct-to-consumer side? And I said, well, I'm all for it. So that was the focus of that grant, and it was really successful. We were able to take those funds. They're targeted because you do a budget, you do an outline, you have reporting based on that. So it holds you accountable, which is great. And it lets you go back and review the process and where, you should be along that in the time frame. Trying to keep up with the times, trying to be innovative, trying to think outside the box. It's hard to do when you're a small farm, but when a grant is offered, a grant opportunity, and then you can sit down and actually kind of just let the imagination go. I think it can be a make or break in a lot of ways. I'm very proud to be a farmer. I think it's a wonderful lifestyle to instill in children. You can stand back so proud because that is something that you had a huge part in. And so there's a lot of pride that goes along with it. I wouldn't be anywhere else than where I am today, right here.